Alright, looks like we're live. Welcome back to another episode of The Joy of Planting. Let's see here. There we go. Stream Manager. That's what I'm looking for. Awesome. Alright, so, as per usual at this point, we are going to probably do some work on Erroronimink. Matt, what's up? That was fast. I just went live. Let's see. I laid in an idea for 9. Actually, it's not that bad in terms of actual surfaces. I probably don't even need to edit this. Just throw some bunkers in and... Oops. Oh, I didn't want to generate terrain, but that's fine. But I just posted in the shout box like 60 seconds ago. That's fine. We're glad to have you. I'm very tired today, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm working from home today, and honestly, like there's so little going on that I just kind of hit the end of my patience, and I decided, okay, today's probably just going to be a half day. Hey Dan, how's it going? And Ben. It's a lovely planted hole. Well, that's because it's not planted yet. We're in early stages here. We're just getting whole concepts, kind of boundaries laid down. There you go, Maddie. Well done. A slow round of applause for you. Whoops, maybe a bit much there. Suppose I need to sculpt kind of both of these at mostly the same time, since they are going to be interacting with each other. And yes, I was working today, or at least attempting to, but there's not a whole lot going on, so I just kind of ran out of patience for, like, administrative tasks. Hence, it's like, I'm just going to sign off early. We're taking a half day. Bring on evening, Matt. Hey, there will be plenty of opportunities for me to just go rant about things. That's never not happening. But that doesn't mean that we need to do it all of the time either. I'm completely okay with not doing it all of the time. It's exhausting. This week has been exhausting, and I'm okay with it just being quiet and boring this week or this stream. Mellow may not be as entertaining, but mellow is very good for my mental health, so mellow it is today. At least I will attempt to keep it mellow. All right, so I think we'll start putting in. I think most of the ideas are here. Um, in this case, it's just put in some bunkers, uh, finish up the basic concept here, and then move on to 10, 11, that sort of stuff. I mean, that is tempting, but no. I don't need to do any drinking today. I don't do much drinking regardless, so I don't need to start just because I'm working from home. Or was working from home. Hey Grovey, how's it going? Alright. Oh, that's right, Grovey's got a new one. I'll have to go give that a play. That should be fun. Alright, let's see. What kind of bunkers do we want to put in here? And this is kind of, I don't know, maybe a little overly traditional of a mat-shaped bunker, but you can see what we got there. I mean, that looks okay. We can complement it with some more Aeronamink style bunkers. Yeah, it looks okay. Also, I'm gonna have to ping Eric again. If anyone remembers what that music service that he was using for like copyright friendly background music, I would love to start throwing that in some of the background of some of these streams. Make it a little less quiet. Plus, stuff that's kind of designed specifically to be background is even better for these kind of streams. So it's not quiet, but it's not distracting either. All right, that's a start for now. Actually, we could curl that in. Do something like that. That's fine by me. Actually, I could probably throw another bunker onto the side there. Just because. Something like that. Perfect. Then we can drop that down just a little bit. All right. Well done. Well done, Joe. Whoops. See, we're gonna keep this as rant-free of a stream as possible. Well, we will see how that goes. Doesn't mean we can't have all sorts of other interesting conversations. But I'll try not to just yell about things while designing. At least not today. So I recently remembered that I had created a Twitter account and remembered it's like, oh yeah, that's right, Twitter is terrible. So that'll be interesting. I'm hoping that if I just it's one of those like, oh, I can see how this is a useful thing um, to use occasionally. Let's see. Yes, Wes. This is the Aeronamink inspired design. Now I don't. I'm kind of hitting the point where I don't think this will be a World Cup of Design course for a couple reasons. A, um, I really like this. I really like this course, but it's also not. Um, just in terms of like setting, it's kind of a very subdued, plain plot. And if you're trying to go for an overall win in a contest, it's really hard to like crack that top couple without doing something really outside the box, a little bolder and a little riskier. And while I think this is a great course and it would certainly do well, I don't think that this would win either. And secondly, I'm kind of flying along on this one, and I don't want to just have to sit on it for multiple months. So if this isn't my World Cup of Design uh, submission, I can just um, publish this whenever I want, which I like better than you know sitting on it and twiddling my thumbs waiting to publish. Yes, yeah. I think we can all safely take bets on how long it takes Ben to cave and start posting about his entry now that he's in. Now that he's gonna go whoop all of our butts. There we go. There's that one. That would be kind of funny. I'd be down for that. Not like you could derail that thread too much, anyways. Alright, let's just throw these guys in. Don't I honestly don't want to be too careful with the edges because we want them to be a little rough anyway. So I'm not taking nearly as much care with the edges of these bunkers as I might depending on the style because I perfectly or purposely want them to be just a little rough. But we'll see how that translates. All right, that's a good start. Yeah, I think what Catcherman said. So I think there'll be seeds because I think in order to determine eligibility, Jeremy whipped up kind of a rough uh, ranking system. It's not intended to be anything like really official, but it's when you're trying to sort between like 50 guys that went into the contest and you can only select 30, it's good to have some kind of uh, relatively objective measure to divide the contest up into of okay, here's the math that we're running with, here's the entries that we're or that we're using to determine eligibility, and we'll just see where it'll fall where it falls. So in theory, they could seed it, but again, I think it's going into pools, and the pools are determined. Like I think they're still gonna spin the wheel, but the groups, like if it's like last year, they had Group A and Group B, where Group A was kind of the stronger is the wrong word because Group B had tons of strong contestants in it as well, but A was just the established kind of veteran group, and B were the newer group. And then there'd be two from each pool in every group, just to make the groups relatively fair or even. 3 groups this time. Ah, okay. So we have long shots and you know, and vets as well as the middle guys. Okay. Okay, let's see here. That doesn't look bad, but I don't necessarily want to do that. Obviously, I don't mind like a couple little pods of 3 bunkers. Like, where's the other one I did it on? Oh, 7. Like, I don't mind the 3 pods of bunkers. That's definitely kind of a signature little look, but I don't know if I want to do that all the time. Maybe I just do the front 2 on this one, and that would work. At least for now. Yeah, that's fine by me. Let's just sculpt the first 2 for now. Maybe I'll probably throw another bunker back there somewhere, but we can kind of separate that from this little pod of bunkers. I do need more bunkers. I've been going a little light on them. So we'll figure this out. I can always add them as I go and do some adjustments. You'd think that this would be I don't know why. I just adding more bunkers should be the most obvious thing for me, and I'm just struggling to come up with where I'd want to put bunkers on a lot of these holes. Is Petro in? I think he entered. I don't remember off the top of my head. Yep, okay. There we go. Yeah, we can break that up a little bit. I'll have to redo that one. It's just this big white blob. We want it to look we want the shape to be a little bit more interesting than that. Like that's a little too big to my eye to just be like a single round bunker. Let's see. There we go. So one of my little tricks for bunkers is basically I think the bigger your bunker, the more complex of a shape you want it to have. Like if you have a huge bunker and it's perfectly oval, it just looks really weird. So, but if you have a small bunker, perfectly oval is actually a fairly good shape for it to have. All right, there we go. Something a little more contours to it, breaks up that top line, that shape for it. So, perfect. That's much better to my eye. Again, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a good rule of thumb to have, I think, of the bigger you make it, the more complex of a shape it needs to be. And the smaller it is, the less complex it needs to be. Or simple shapes are good for small bunkers. You want to get a little crazier with the big bunkers. Alright, we should raise that one up just a little. Sorry, I need to go catch up on chat. Yes, Potunk is great, assuming that's how you pronounce it. It's funny, first time Grovey typed it, I read that as potluck, and now I might just have to refer to it as potluck. Alright, let me go sculpt this out a little bit. I'm going to drop that down just a little. Alright, I think that's good. TPC Potluck. That's a great course name there. Oh my goodness, that's a terrible swing. Is that a new joke course name, TPC Potluck? All right. Obviously, we'll add contours to the green later, but again, as it's a long par four, it doesn't need any really crazy contours, so I don't need to worry about all of that just yet. We'll do some terrible putts, more terrible putts. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. All right. So next up, we can look at number 10. So we don't want a ton of trees, but we probably want to sprinkle a couple in between the two holes just to, divide up. Now I want to leave this space a little more open, but we can throw a couple in, um, again to split the holes up and as kind of a what would be a safety thing. All right, let's throw an oak in there. I guess why not? 10 has potential. Yeah, I'm excited about 10. Oh, and 11. You'll have to see 11 here in a sec. All right, there we go. We'll throw this crazy guy in there as well. All right, I think that looks decent. That's good enough. I mean, yeah, the green site for 10 is gonna look awesome. All right, now what do we want to do here? I think we can get a little fancy with this one. We'll fuzz it up. There you go. Hey Adam, how's it going? All right, so let's see. That's about where our landing area would be. All right, so I think I can drop this a little bit. I can raise this a little bit as well. Can make it slope with the dog leg that we're building. Then obviously we can drop all of this just a little bit. I want that green to pop a little bit more. Of course, I can get some mounding and stuff off to the side as well. Oh, that might be too much, but alright, we can drop that a little, raise this up back here. Give us a little bit of a bigger green pad for this hole. Let's see. Sorry. did not sleep very well last night, so there might be a little bit of extra yawns today. We'll see how we go today. Right, now where do I want the fairway to go? Maybe like this. That's probably way too narrow. Yes it is. Alright, oh yeah, very much so. Oh, that's funny. Oh, it's the opposite of Shadow Creek. Or rather, so yeah, he took Shadow Creek from a flat site and then just did a ton of bulldozing to make it all of this crazy. So he stole all of the contours from that second site, just threw all the dirt in a dump truck and trucked it off to Shadow Creek. Oh yeah, I have my bridge. I like my bridge, even if it needs a little bit of I need to redo the posts on it. Okay, now what do I want to do with this one? Actually, I might have to do a quick Google search. Just, 'cause, I mean, I don't think there's any, like, holes with really crazy bunker sites on, or, like, fairway bunker, or landing zones. You know what I mean. Words. Um, okay, so there's some with, yeah. Just trying to get um, since we want this to be a little wilder, like, kind of more of a showcase hole. I want to see how wild we can get with this fairway and still have the appropriate amount of Aeronaming vibes to it. I could throw a bunker in there, then another couple in here. And that should work. Alright, and that would slope off kind of like that up this way. Of course, I could just could even throw another one in there. Throw the fairway up there a little bit if I wanted. Or if that's too complicated. Island green for 10. That will be a no. I mean, 11's gonna be kind of the crazy one where it crosses this stream. Oh, that reminds me, I can also soften the land there. Something like that should work. Alright, anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted with this again. Alright, maybe we need to work backwards here. Maybe I gotta figure out what the green site is, and then we can figure out the rest of the hole. So what does the land call for here, in my opinion? I could make some really deep bunkers around this green if I wanted. That'd be a way to make this hole interesting. All right, let's flatten the top of this. We need a green pad of some kind. I think we'll have this one. I think we'll slope this off to the right a little. We'll have our green will kind of run up about like this way. Something like this. Assuming that looks and feels like an appropriate green size. Yeah, I think that'll work. Actually, we can curl this up in here like that if I wanted. How big is this? Ooh, perfect. It's big, but it's not absurd. So I'm okay with that. That's a good size green then. And so I could run off that way if I wanted. Could fit a bunker in to the right there and to the left, and some big ones to the right. Obviously, I can get a little generous with the pre-green kind of landing area because it's a long par 4, and it's like if you can't reach it, you should still get a fairly generous landing area short. All right, essentially giving you a shot at maybe salvaging a par with some good short game if you miss short. Maybe something like that could work. How wide's that fairway? 25. It's still shallower than I thought it would be, just visually. We don't cut it in nearly as much. Or I can stretch it out this way a little bit as well. There we go, that could work. Okay, that's a good start. It's funny. Alright, let's see. I think it's people are welcome to make all the jokes they want in this stream. I don't really, at my expense or whoever's expense, whatever. People still think Jerry stuff is funny and go for it. Hey Matt, how's it going? Alright, yeah, we can make some deep bunkers to the right there. That'll be fun. Also, I basically have a green light to go a little fairway bunker crazy on this hole. Is it a Christmas Eve junior mid height net? Yes, we have to organize our mats in height order. Obviously, that's the logical way to do it. Go. Oh, and then add the rough fringe to it, and then we should be good. We want. There we go, rough. I think it's a solid concept, but I'm not 100% sold on this one yet. The hardest thing to me about like doing something that's um, like a little more standard is just making it feel all the holes feel unique and interesting when they're kind of when you have a lot of generally straight holes with just a couple fairway bunkers scattered in it, like with stuff like nine. How do you make nine feel unique and distinct? Outside of it's the longest one on the course, so you're hitting a very different shot into it than on some of the other ones. All right, so we'll throw our fairway in here. You can never have too many mats, Adam. Obviously. Let's get this fairway all drawn in. Curve it up this way slightly. And run it up around that hill. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's basically just paint by numbers on this one, but we'll see what it looks like when we're finished. And up in there. Might have to adjust the, actually, those, yeah, this one will need some adjustments. That's a little off. Whoops. Wrong one, wrong spline I'm editing. This one we want to, there we go. Actually, that turned out pretty darn good. Yes, I will have to, we'll have to add some hummocks and stuff around the place. I think that'll be kind of in the polishing steps on this one, though. I want to get the basic ideas down before we go too crazy on like the little detail sculpting bits. Not totally sold on the fairway contour here, but I think I can just bring this in slightly, and that might work. can make that one a little less severe, and maybe that'll, yeah, it looks fine. Love, I love all the template hole drama. I mean, that was, going and looking up Dario's tweet was specifically how I remembered that I actually had a Twitter account to begin with this week. And I realized, like, oh hey, it's kind of funny having having an account, and I think I had maybe tweeted on it once of just, hey, I created one, and then that was it. I get back and you have like all these notifications, and I've got like, I don't know, it's like 30ish followers or something, which is, which I mean obviously is not a lot at all, and I'm not worried about number of followers at all. I just found it amusing of like, I created this and forgot that I had it, and there's 30 people that are following what is essentially just an empty account at the moment. Like, maybe I should put something in here. I still hate the way that fairway looks off the tee. Again, it's not that big of an issue, but something about it really bugs me. And since this is a great opportunity to make like the site is awesome. You want this to be uh, like, to me this is kind of a statement hole, and I want it to really have a good visual impact when you see it for the first time. So I want to take my time and do this right. Throw one of these in. We'll make that a solid deep bunker, as well as probably one here I could get away with. Throw something like that in, I suppose. You know how Ross does 20 feet of drop off behind uh, yeah, let's see. Alright. This could probably use this one I might redo, but I don't mind, actually I can probably reel that one in a little. Make this a little smaller and bring, here, actually screw this. We'll just, clear these out and redo them. I might almost end up doing part of this one off stream just because I want to really, really tinker with it a little bit, and that would be really dry and repetitive um, to do all of that on stream of me just doing tons of trial and error stuff just to get the right look for this hole. It's not something that you need to do, but for courses and whatnot. But as I'm a big component of like good enough, of just you don't have to endlessly tinker with stuff to make it perfect. It's just sometimes you just have to roll with it and make something. When you want everything to be perfect, it's really easy to just get stuck and paralyzed and just be completely unable to do anything. So I've always been a big fan of, if you're looking at a piece of land and you want to you don't know what to do with it, and you're stuck, just put anything in there. And just once you get moving, it's a lot easier to it might be easier to edit your idea that once you have something in there than to just worry about trying to come up with the perfect hole idea. I'm gonna make these a little, maybe a little, I want these to be a seriously threatening looking bunker. We'll make them pretty deep. At least hopefully. Oh, I mean, I guess it's not like, in grand terms, they're not very deep, but there you go. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Missing all the bots. There. And yes, the whole built-up green thing. Well, that works out well because I too like my built-up greens. It makes the visuals like, well, again, it's the whole thing of like, raised greens are great. They drain better. It's, they're visually striking. They're strategically interesting. It makes bunkering easier. It's like, gee, it's like there's so many. It's almost like, as a general rule, you want your greens to be raised. It's almost like that's a good rule of thumb. Obviously, not every green needs to be raised, but you know, it always helps. There we go. Good enough. Actually, I might turn this into 4 bunkers, because why not? We'll throw one in here somewhere, like that maybe, and then I can throw one in front. Actually, that one probably want to be. I want to move that one slightly. Then we'll throw something like this in here. And that would work. So this isn't your World Cup course, is it? I started it with that intention, but I think I'm slowly changing my mind on that one. Obviously I haven't made a final decision on it, but for starters, I'm not sure. Um, I love this idea and I'm very excited about it. Obviously, because I've been working on it a ton. But I'm not 100% sure that this would make the cut, so to speak, for World Cup. So I might want to, I probably want to sit down and try and come up with um, something a little more outside the box, a little wilder of an idea, a little riskier perhaps. Over here, we want raise. I could drop that just a little bit. There we go. And then we'll go drop these bunkers in. Minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Fun. I believe, was it minus 20 or minus 40? That's that temperature that's the same in both Celsius and Fahrenheit, so it just doesn't matter what your measurement is at that point. That's very much at the, oh, it's just cold. It doesn't matter how you measure it, it's cold. It's thoroughly, punishingly cold. Alright, there we go. a little more off the line there. Come in a little, probably about there. Yep, that looks fine to me. I'm not totally sure yet. I might do a little bit of that. I haven't, admittedly, I haven't put a ton of the thought into a lot of the details yet. We're trying to keep the ideas a little broad for the time being. It's especially with something that, like, as far as all the major decisions go, um, like the major sculpting is pretty simple, so I can get away with doing a lot of the detail work later. A lot of these holes are really easy to tear up and redo as I decide to do something different with it. But we want to have want some general concepts in, get a feel of how it would play, how everything's spaced out, how it would look, that sort of stuff. So we're going up those ones. We've got here. It's funny now. This might be more accurate in terms of bunkers on a lot of actual holes at Aeronamink, but I kind of almost have to be careful in that I've underdone the amount of bunkers I think on a lot of different holes. So I have to be careful not to go throw 800 bunkers on this course so that it feels out of place in what I've created so far. I think I'm going to make this outlet bigger. There we go. That makes a little more sense. Although I can probably smooth this one out just a little. There you go. I think that looks better. And we'll do a sharpen smooth just to redo the contours on that, even though it looks fine as is. Okay, so those are thrown in. I have those bunkers. Probably throw another one over here. Something like this maybe. Maybe I make that a little smaller because then I can fit. So if I have that, then I can fit something a little intriguing in this spot. Something like this maybe. That could work. Yeah, okay, minus 40 is the equivalent ones. Erroronimink should be ideal considering how many bunkers I have. And I mean, part of it is I know they renovated it recently. Alright, maybe we start with this one up front. Actually, here, I'll do a quick save. I haven't done enough saving since I started this. Uh, and just if we're going to make changes like this that I'm not sure about, it doesn't hurt to change in case it gets messy and it just becomes easier to just uh, clean it out and start over. Alright, and then I can raise this land up. We'll use the raise tool just so I can keep a little bit of that bunker pan that I already sculpted. Alright, so that will work. And then I suppose I can raise this up as well. Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense because yeah, it's the Aeronaming bunkering style isn't like it doesn't fit with a lot of Donald Ross's other courses. Which I mean, to me, I kind of like a little bit. It feels unique that way. Not that I don't mind like the Donald Ross bunker look that that you see on a lot of his other courses, but it doesn't. I wouldn't necessarily want to like dive in and do that on one of my courses either. Whereas this looked like a lot of fun to try. So hence we're trying it. That is true. There we go. I think I can see like this would work for a bunker shape there. All right. We can make again. This one can get pretty deep, a little severe. There we go. I think that should work. Yeah, that's fair. Like, admittedly, I'm not a particular expert in, like historical courses and stuff, but from what little um, I've from my limited exposure to, different famous architects in terms of, like stuff you'll see fairly often, you know, bigger name examples of their work, that sort of stuff. Yeah, and yeah, that's. I think I'd agree with that. Where if he's given kind of a bland piece of property, he usually kind of builds a blandish golf course on it. Now I know there's like I was gonna say Detroit Golf Club kind of comes to mind, but I also know that there's apparently a ton of work done after, or since then. So I don't know how much of that design is still him, and how much of it is just 80 other architects who have touched it up since then. Okay, I like the way that looks so far. I still need to work on this landing area, but I love the green site. Oh, that was terrible. course, I think I'm gonna have to edit this one anyway, because I think I misjudged where the landing area is for this hole. Like that big alcove of where I was gonna throw all the bunkers in for your tee shot. Uh, like the front one's the only one that really comes into play. I thought I had measured it out, but I guess I missed the spot. I can't even hit this damn fairway. Yeah, that is a fair point, Thomas. All right, so yeah, we're gonna have to redo the. Yeah, it's probably just easier to tear this whole thing out, even if I really like where those are. Or is it? All right, let's start from here. So carry. Yeah, we need to bring the. Okay, fine. As much as it. Well, I'm just debating. If is it easier to just edit the existing spline, or to just completely because all the work around the green is really good, and I'm not sure how hard that would be to replicate. But it's all the rest of it that's going to be a pain to redo. Yeah, okay. We'll just let's see. So I could throw a bunker in there. That could work. That'd be interesting. Yep. Okay. I think that site works for a bunker too. And then so that means we can come around here. Oops. A little aggressive. That should work. So I think we can. This can come around this way. We do a big cut in here. Throw some bunkers. Then route the. So that should be wide enough. Wow, it looks so wide and it's just over 40 yards. That's crazy. Maybe something like that should work. Yep, alright. Can I move the tee box up a few yards? I could, but I don't really want to, because I like it's 480 yards, and it's already, like, we want let's see. Hey Lucas, how's it going? I'm already, what do you want to say? Like, when you hit this fairway, you still only have, like 160-ish in. I don't want to make this approach shot any shorter. We want you to be hitting at least a mid-iron into this. Thanks, Petro. I've been kind of enjoying it as well too. It's been trickier trying to, because normally I do a lot of like very wavy fairways, and so it's been harder trying to. Of course, this one's pretty wavy, but challenging myself to keep the shapes a little simpler than I usually do. Anyway, I guess we'll just edit the spline. I don't feel like I really like what we have going on with the by the green, and I don't wanna lose that. So we'll just do the slightly tedious work of redoing spline points versus um, actually I could probably remove a couple of these. But yeah, I don't want to redo this, but it's probably just easier to redo or to edit this than to redo it and lose all the green work. No, move. Thank you. All right, so that's so. Yes, this will be kind of slow and tedious, but it's fine. It's a labor of love. It's probably not the most exciting to watch, but hey. The nature of just streaming stuff like this and doing it on the fly is sometimes it's going to be, sometimes you'll have a slow episode. Spline point manager, yes, exactly. Alright, so I can delete like two of these. And then move that one in there. Alright, that should do it. We should just have to go do a sharp and smooth. Might be a couple points we have to go touch up, but other than that, we should be good. Yeah, like here, there's a couple I can. There we go. Alright, we'll get that bunker location all sorted out. Throw a couple in there, and we should be good to go. Alright, that's definitely I think we're off to the right track here. Oh, yes, I should save. Thank you. Good call. A save a day keeps the HB bugs away. Alright. So yeah, probably throw one up here. Like that. And go a little crazy with the shape in here. I could make those 3 bunkers. Maybe. I don't know. Here, let's see what else I can come up with. Well, now I'm tempted to do my. We can do my par 3 template in bunker form. The little God, what's it called? I can't remember what everyone calls that one. It's a little like wasted par 3 green. Right. Probably like a small one up here, something like that. Yeah, that's okay. Bow tie, that's what it was. Thank you. I don't know why that word slipped my mind. Yeah, the frictionator. Now that's something totally different. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm trying to come up with a joke for it, and I'm blanking. So I'll leave chat to fill that one in for me. Yes, I already promised there will be no bow tie green par 3s on this course. We've abused that template enough in the last couple projects, so there will be none of those this time around. I do find that whole concept fun though. I do like having those. Just occasionally is good, all the time is a crutch. We don't want that to be a crutch. We want it to be fun. Oh yeah, template. Yeah. Thank you. Or did I say template or is it I know we have the oh no, rubric was the drinking game I'm thinking of. Yeah, we didn't use rubric. Yeah, okay, I really like the way this one's turning out. Yeah, well again, we'll have to dice up that green. It's just, it's a big flat pan at the moment or pad, that's the word I'm looking for at the moment, but like the where it sits in the land is awesome. Yeah, the contours are awesome. Actually, I even see we can throw some like I see some great spots for some hills out here. Although we should do a raise. We'll lower this just a little. And then I can add I can add the hills in there. The hummocks, if you will. Is that too much? That's fine. Not that one. That's a bit much. These are probably a bit big for that. Both in scale and size. We can, yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out. Wow, why is it, it's really acting weird when I try to single click the raise brush today. Whatever, there we go. We have some hummocks and stuff. I probably want to frame this with a couple trees. Again, we want to keep this side of the oh, I have that same one over there, dude. Nah, it's fine. Where's the oak trees I want? Actually, that one's fine. Can't remember if I had any of these pines floating around or not. But I could throw a couple in here, along with an oak or two. Or not. Maybe throw those on the other side. Yeah. Because these are just here to fill in a little space. Or, you know, to fill in a little empty space. But we also don't want to kill your view of the lake. So some of the big tall trees, you know, that are just like where, you know, where the leaves are up high. We can throw some of those off to the side, and that way they don't block a whole lot of your lake view, while still kind of filling up the empty space a little bit. Oh, I won't block the view. But I do want to, you know, we want to throw something in here that would kind of protect those back tees a little bit. Of course, I could just move them off to the side a little bit more, and then that would be completely fine. Not totally sure what we're doing with this yet, but we can probably give it a wide berth. Which Arthur Hills template are you talking about, Ben? He has lots of templates. None of them make sense, but he has lots of templates. It's funny because I have the opposite thought of like this hole's taking forever to do. Like compared to the other ones on this course, I've spent almost a full episode putzing. Actually, no, that's not true. I did some work on 9, so we didn't start this hole till about 20 minutes in. But like this hole's been really finicky and has taken me, you know, over an hour to get the whole, you know, the uh, what do you want to call it? The surfaces and the concept down. That being said, I've also like some of them have been just quick, like kind of uh, um, quick concepts that don't have a lot of polish, and this one I wanted to do a little bit of polish. Oh, tree in front of green. Do a split fairway on dead flat ground template. Well, I mean, the Arthur Hills template the one that I always point to of like he always has like one drivable par 4 on a course that makes no sense whatsoever. So that's just, you know, where it's like, "Oh, go for this," and then there's no alternative shot that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making these bunkers overly fritchy or not. Like just my normal standard bunkers. I'm trying to mix the style up, but it's hard not to fall back on. Of course, I just did that shape. It's hard not to fall back on old habits. Run that down in here, something like that. Also, he likes to do lots of shared fairways that also just don't make sense. Some are better than others, but and he too likes all of his fake mounding. There you go. Now there's some contours for you. Yes. There we go. I think I like that one. And then I'll have to. I think we'll throw another one in, kind of like this, something like that. And then I'll raise that land up to make that one kind of pop a little bit. So I'm very familiar with Arthur Hills as an architect because it's that whole thing of just because of where I live, he does a lot of the golf courses in my area. So just by pure happenstance, not even like seeking his stuff out, just by playing golf in general, I've played a fair number of his courses. And I can say that I mean some of it is probably like a little bit of snobbery, but uh, there is a lot of legitimate criticism of a lot of the work he does. A couple of his courses I really love and they work really nicely, but but he has more courses that just are baffling and make zero sense than anything else I've seen in the area. But it's very hit or miss. But I'm almost kind of at the point where it's the um like to me I associate like a lot of his courses are kind of wonky and play funky and overpriced. But I mean that's a more management decision than anything else. Well, at least the pricing point, not the design itself. But he also designed what is probably my favorite golf course in the area. So, and he's also designed some of my least favorite golf courses in the area. So it's that whole thing of a very wide range of stuff. But it's also kind of fun to point to all of the meme-ish stuff that he does on a lot of his courses. That is entirely fair. Like as much shit as he gets, I will defend Blue Mash, indefinitely. I love that course. Minus, God, what's it? 8, I think, is his is his stupid drivable par 4 template where it's just the hey, you can reach this, but there's also no place that you can it's the every spot of fairway that you can hit is like 12 yards wide and there's no layup area anywhere. So you just kind of spray one somewhere and just hope it's on the planet and just do something with that. At least it's not a safety hazard like some of the other versions of that hole that he's done. All right, I think this one's a winner here. I don't know what spare means in this context. Is that good or bad? Let's see. All right, I think this one's about done. I mean, I did take a lot of time in. I want to. I need a couple trees just to break this area up. I'm just not sure where to put them. Obviously, probably back here a bit. Be there. Yeah, that would work. Or I could. Oh yeah. He's done a lot of those golf courses. Like, yeah, there's I think Eric had a an outing to Regent's Glen in PA, which is like it was fun to go do, and I'm very grateful that he took me out. But I think my biggest enjoyment of that of playing that course was just baffling at some of the amazing decisions that were made there. Like it has the drivable par 4 template and the ideal line that you can, basically it's the if you're going to try and drive that green, the line into that green is like uh over somebody's yard bordering somebody's house. It's like, cool, this hole is stupid and dangerous. Gotta love that. Also, I believe that's the one that had I don't want to put a tree there. We're just gonna throw a shadow over that green. Now we'll just leave it. Actually, I can break it up by putting trees over here. That's where we want them. And that was the one where to go from 10 to 11, you need to cross train tracks. There's a tunnel. Yeah, you go over train tracks, through a tunnel under a major road, um, and then into a neighborhood or like into a housing development. You drive in between two houses that are like 5 feet apart, so you're literally driving through somebody's yard. And then it dumps you out into this little hole that has houses on three sides or all four sides with like a big pond with a giant fountain, and it's one of the most like surreal experiences I can remember is trying to find this golf hole, getting lost in a neighborhood and then just being dumped out in somebody's backyard. And the course itself was okay. It was more the whole thing of like um it's like having played that after having played several other Arthur Hills courses, it's like all the holes that I liked out there were like, oh, well, this is like the other one of his that I've played, except just not as good. So it's the good holes felt familiar and the bad holes were baffling. And then there's like Maryland National is one that's iffy. I should say that's a great course. Like if you're, if you're traveling or something. Like to me, it's a great course to play once, like as an experience. Like, cause it's scenic. It's a gorgeous spot, and it's, you know, a lot of ways it's interesting. But let's see. I want one here maybe. I don't know if this blocks off the view too much or not. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to break up this space though. I think we're okay there. Exactly, Thomas. Hey Bear, how's it going? Um, but yeah, Maryland National is a great like scenic plot. I mean, like there's some wild topography on it. That's really cool. But the golf course is kind of okay and just really penal. So like there's a charity scramble that I play pretty much every year. That's usually there. And it's fun for that, but outside of that, like playing it on my own, it's just it's overly punishing and it's just not particularly, it's not a golf course I would want to play repeatedly. It's great to go see, like to experience and, so again, it's a great course to play once, it's a bad course to play twice. Like, if somebody was in town for a week and we were going to go play some golf, like I would definitely take somebody out there once. Like just as a, hey, like this is a really cool what do you want to call it? Like, you know, there's some cool views and some cool ideas, and it's like it's a great place to like hang out and spend a day and go experience something. But as far as like the actual golf, like if it was a place you played regularly, and it would not be good for that at all. All right. Anyway, well, Sweetens Cove's a great one. Yeah, the best course I've ever played is a really hard question to answer, honestly. Um, just because it really depends on like there are courses I really love, um, that that might be like my favorite courses that aren't necessarily the best courses I've played. Like honestly, some of the Montgomery County municipal courses I absolutely love. In terms of like that's exactly what I want out of a course that I would play all the time. Yeah, Petro, yeah, it's all good, but yeah, your selection will blow the rest of our selection completely out of the water. I've played some enormous dumps in my day, so uh, maybe I need a tree or two in here. Yeah, it's just gonna block out that green, so guess we just leave it. Anyway, what was I saying? Nice. But so it's like there's courses I've played that that might be like better than the stuff I play regularly, but like some of the Montgomery County municipal courses are like way up there on the like if I was gonna play every day, I, what I would want out of a course, uh, might be different than like there's courses that are great um, for trips like as events to do on special occasions that are like a complete blast, but I wouldn't want to play them all the time. So there's just lots of caveats to what that answer would be because I like a lot of different courses for different reasons. That's fair. Like like Rattlewood is one I'll always tout as being like what I really like what I really like in a golf course because it's like it's cheap, it's well maintained, it's not overly pretentious, and it's both approachable and challenging at the same time. Where it's like you can have a bad day and it's not going to beat you up, but you can have a good day and you're still like you still have to make decisions. You're still like it doesn't. It's going to give you easy bogeys if you're just not if you have nothing and you're just kind of trying to hack it around, but it makes birdie very difficult if that's what you're going for. To the point where it's like I played there recently with someone who had never played golf before and is just trying to hit the ball, let alone like put it anywhere, and he's able to navigate it relatively effectively. And I'm having like a career round and just striping it, and I'm still just absolutely engaged. Bethpage, overrated or underrated? It's kind of both, honestly. If I had to pick one, I would lean overrated. Maybe a little, or appropriately rated. Who knows? Like it's renowned for a reason. It's pretty cool, but what Petro said. That's a like there's lots of great things to say about that course, but it's that whole like there's probably some caveats if you're going to compare it against the world's greatest courses. Like in terms of like like major hosting courses, it might be a little uninteresting, but like in term yeah, it's the caveat of like do you mean Bethpage, the public golf course that's held majors, or Bethpage, the major golf course? You know. So it's really the it really depends on how you what is it the light that you put that decision into. Like it's kind of underwhelming in the compared against the world's great golf courses, but is absolutely amazing for public municipal golf type thing. So honestly, it might just be more like just the fact that it's a public golf course. Um, that's I mean obviously expensive to go play for out of state residents, but like is reasonably priced for New York patrons and is good enough to hold world class golf tournaments is really cool, and that's something that I would love to see more of. But um, you know, but I think like the idea is underrated, but the execution is overrated. If that makes sense, it's like it's a great golf course, but it's not the greatest golf course. Unfortunately, no, I have not played it, but I would love to. I don't know if my game's good enough to really what do you want to call it, to really appreciate a lot of the questions that it asks you as a golfer because I'm not good enough to answer most of them. My game is completely built around just scraping ugly shots around. All right, let's see. Again, this is such a fun little piece of property, and I'm not sure what kind of fairway I want to put in here. I could almost... I don't know if I want to put any bunkers in. I could run this up a little bit. I almost want to put like a couple bunkers in here. Not sure. If only to pinch the landing area up here. Also, so that you can't just cut this corner. If you're hitting driver, you have to take on the. I'm not sure how I want to do this one. Here, we'll do a quick save. We'll try this and see how it looks. Well, that's fair as well. Yeah, there's a lot of courses that I would love to play in theory that I might not love to play in practice, just because it's that whole thing like what's it? Of just like like it's Pebble. It's that whole thing of like, oh, playing Pebble would be cool, but I don't know if it's like what, $600, $700 or something crazy like that now. Or for the entire trip that you'd need to go play it. It's like, hey, I'm paying $5,000 to play this. Like, is it worth that kind of money? Be like, probably not, and it would just be like my enjoyment of it would always be tempered by the amount of money that it required to do that. So I think there's a lot of courses that in concept I would love to play, but in terms of like actually getting to play them, I think would be less enjoyable. I don't know. Maybe I'm just cheap. Like, yeah, to me, it's like Pebble's very high on the list of golf courses that would be really cool to like. It'd be really cool to see a major champion or like any kind of championship played there, and I could really care less about playing it. Because there's like three holes that I would love to play um, uh, at Pebble, and it's more just about being at the spot than actually hitting the shots. Like it's like five or 6, 7, 8, I think, are the three I would want to go play. That's a busy ass day. But again, it's more just being on prop or on the cliff looking out over those spots would be awesome. But as far as like like is 7 a really cool hole? Like, yeah, it's gorgeous and that's it's awesome. But in terms of like playing, it's like, oh, it's just a downhill par three. Like it probably outside of the sea breeze and the sense of place, it's gonna play exactly like like a handful of holes, at any municipal course I've played. I don't know, maybe that's a weird take, but you know, I mean, you can't replicate the giant par five on the cliff, but in terms of like how like seven actually plays, it's kind of it's a downhill par three. It's just a downhill par three on one of the most spectacular pieces of land ever. What's the hardest course you've ever played? Um, I mean, I haven't played a ton of like really difficult courses, so I'd have to say TPC Potomac or Avenel or whatever it's called now. That one whooped my ass. So I think it's Dario was in town and invited Eric and I to go play that. Um, and it was one of those where on the caveat I was like, hey, we're gonna go play the tips, which which is like what 7,100 yards par, like was it par 70 or 71? I can't remember. Um, Fair Petro. So they played the tips on every hole, and I joined them on some of them. But there's only so many like 480-yard par fours I can play without just like it's like hey like I'm just down here to have fun, and I'd like to hit at least a green today. So like grinding out a 108 from 7,100 yards is not my idea of a good time. So I moved up on a couple of them. I think I still played like 68, 69, I don't know, somewhere around there. Cuz I think it was 67 from the tees up, and I played that on like half or more of the holes. I can't remember. But the context of that is also the fact that this was when I was going through a severe case of the shanks. So I had made like a major swing change literally the week before. I'm like, okay, your swing is nowhere, and you're just trying to hit the ball. Now go play a championship golf course. It was just like, okay. I was very lost. So it's just, I felt like a complete moron for most of it because it's the whole like, hey, I'm back here with a scratch golfer and a playing professional, and I'm just trying not to shank it like on every swing. It was it was fun, but I would love another shot at it with like a game that actually functions on a basic level. I think I picked up at a couple points. Like I think I don't remember exactly what I shot. I think it was like low 100s or upper 90s, but if I was counting every shot, I don't think I broke 100. I think I could break 100 again if I was bringing a game that functioned instead of the like everything I can do not to hit a complete like a hit it off the hosel. Oh, absolutely. Like I mean, to the point of like I mean, it's just the like I mean, I haven't really, although I had a little bout of them last year, I think, or this year. I can't remember. I had one really major case of the shanks where I fought it for over a year, and then got back to a point where I could consistently like play golf and not have to think about shanks. Um, and then I think I had a little mini bout of them. No, it was last year. Is the one I had the mini bout. This year was I didn't. I don't think I had any shanks. I mean, I should say I still hit a couple, but not like an endemic number of them, where it's just that I can't hit the ball anywhere but the hosel. But I've also just resigned to the fact of like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna like, I still stance the ball a little more on the toe than I would, just because, just as insurance against it. But yeah, I just mean like, I think my original bout with it was 3 or 4 years ago, and it's to the point of like, I'm still not the same golfer I was before the shanks. Now it really does, like, my confidence is nowhere near where it was before then. It's always in the back of your head that you could just completely lose your swing at any given moment, and there's nothing you can do about it. At least it feels that way. Yeah, the scariest thing was playing league matches while fighting the Shanks, because it's like when you're playing a casual round of golf, there's at the end of the day, it's like obviously you're trying to, like, I'm trying to put together a legitimate round, whatever. But at the end of the day, if it really just absolutely does not work, you always have in the back of your pocket, I can just pick up and quit. But when you're playing an actual competitive match, it's like, no, 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 you have to finish. You have to find some way to overcome, like, just the complete uh inability to do anything on a mechanical level. Or it's just like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do to change my swing, I just can't not shank it right now. Is this your World Cup? Probably not at this point. It was started as my World Cup idea, but I don't. I think I probably want to come up with something different for World Cup, so that I can publish this earlier, because I'm through 11 holes, not polished, but like, the equivalent. I think it's like about halfway done for all of the holes, and I'm through 11 of them. So I could legitimately finish this course probably by. I'm not going to finish it by New Year's, but I could finish this like mid-January, I think. And the published deadline is not opening for a long while. And what's the other one? Um, oh yeah, yeah. And I'm just not entirely sure if this idea is like exciting enough to really work, you know, for World Cup or not. It's a great golf course, but like the plot is kind of standard. It's not overly exciting. Also, I suppose, I've been streaming almost 2 hours, so I should probably cut this episode here soon. As much as I want to keep working on this course, I want to keep these episodes to kind of a little bit more of a digestible size. Like under 2 hours is ideal, I think. Well, I mean, we'll see. But let's see. But I suppose I'm happy to keep streaming regular design for a bit longer. But I think I should cut. I should stop working on this course and cut the episode at some point here soon. Maybe we'll finish this little bunker, and then we'll something like that's probably fine. Actually, I can here. We'll throw a little indent in there, I think, and that will work. All right. See, I'll get ready to end the episode here, and then I'll just swap over to just kind of a normal design stream for a bit. but I'll need like probably like a couple minute break. I have other projects I can work on, or I could just go play some goofy courses or something. Yes, Ben is doing World Cup. He just signed up for it, and he's gonna kick our butts. All right, so I think that was a fun episode overall. I mean, maybe not. Again, for people randomly watching later and not in chat, I don't know how exciting a lot of this is because it's just a lot of like me doing tedious work and chit chatting with folks in chat. So I enjoyed it. I don't know how interesting the resulting product of that will be or not, but you know, hey, it's a start. Also, maybe I need to raise all of this a little bit, just a touch, because it sits a little low to the water for me. There, like that's a little better. There we go. But whatever. I can play with the landscaping on this one later. I don't want those bunkers to look like they're sitting at water level. That's a little bit better. Oh, I need to move that waypoint. For oh, I could play your course. That'd be fun. Let's see. Yeah. All right. I think there we go. Of course. Let's see. It definitely kind of asks you to hit 3 wood potentially. Now let's see if I do the layup. What's my shot in? Okay, 180 is not ridiculous. Although I need to resculpt this land now because I'm completely blocking out your view into this green. Alright, so there's a lot of work left to do on 11. But we did finish number 10. That looks really nice. So yeah, alright. I think we will cut it there. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next time. For those in chat, I'll kick off a new stream here in just a sec. Alright, anytime, or anyway, have a great evening, and